What is good? This is fun. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 songs that may make you a new fan of jazz music. Now, before I go into the song picks, I'm going to give a general background about the genre of jazz. There are around 10 main subgenres. You have early jazz, you have swing, you have big band, bebop, you have hard bop, you have cool, free form, fusion, Latin, gypsy, modal, and of course modern jazz. You can say I'm not a fan of any of it, and that's cool, but just understand that you're missing out on a lot of music. To start the list off, I have a song from an artist named Bobbi Humphrey. Bobbi Humphrey was kind of a big deal. She was the first female artist signed to Blue Note Records. If you don't know what Blue Note Records is, they're a prestigious jazz record company. And she's a legendary flautist. Flute isn't extremely rare in jazz, but it's not as prevalent as some of the other instruments like the saxophone or drum. All right, enough talking. Now let's get into the song. This snippet of Bobbi's song will be a jazz fusion, more specifically a jazz funk song. The next song on the list is from the artist and producer Pete Rock. Pete Rock is a legend in the world of hip hop, but he's not a stranger to incorporating jazz in his productions. Some prime examples of that is his work with CL Smooth in the albums Mecca and the Soul Brother and The Main Ingredient. Now this song will be another jazz fusion, but more specifically jazz rap.
I guess we're going deep cover. You still got the hunger for the chocolate boy wonder. Back to the days of thunder. Thighs and light eyes, caramel surprise. Soft skin and healthy size. I'm just that type of guy. Fly ain't cool, Miss Jamaica at the pool. Taking her to school, debate the golden rule. Only fools fall fast, selling out for the cash. But this love's gotta last, from the ash to the dust. Build trust, beyond the lust. Kick back and split a dust. Chill out and tell tales of such. Your mind blowing.
This next song is by arguably one of the most underappreciated artists in the genre of jazz. She goes by the name Dorothy Ashby. Dorothy played a number of instruments, but she's mostly known for playing the harp. She's essentially a forerunner in giving the harp its place in jazz music. Her music was extremely melodic, and she has a number of original compositions. Here's an original composition from Dorothy in the post-bop era of jazz. This next song is from an absolute legend who's been killing the game for about 6 decades. His name is Roy Ayers. Listen, I know we all gotta go home one day, but when God calls his brother home, I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the song. It's a jazz fusion, more specifically a jazz funk song.
The memory keeps calling me back to the love and we once had it. The memory keeps calling me back to a love when we once had it. Baby, I need you.
Up next is a song from a man who is probably known first for being a composer and arranger. His name is Arthur Verocai, whom I believe to be a musical genius. His self-titled album is an absolute masterpiece. If you haven't heard it, please check it out. I'm going to go ahead and play the song. I guess you would call it Latin jazz, but it does have soul and funk influences.
Na minha cidade do interior, tudo que chegou, chegou de trem. Minha mãe olhava pra estação e vendo viagens dentro de mim, desenhou no ventre mais um irmão. Na minha cidade do interior, mora lá, o céu é lá.
This fifth song is from one of my personal favorite jazz artists of all time. His name is Donald Byrd. Donald Byrd was similar to Miles Davis in that they were both interested in new styles of music. They were both moving targets. Donald was an absolute juggernaut in the genre of jazz fusion. This upcoming song will be a jazz funk song.
Places and spaces I've been.
The fourth song on this list is by two absolute jazz legends, John Coltrane and Duke Ellington. I'm not going to really go into detail about these two artists. They're both widely renowned. Duke Ellington, legendary pianist. John Coltrane, legendary saxophonist. When you have a Coltrane and Ellington collab, you know magic is coming out of that. This is one of the smoothest songs and just one of my favorite jazz compositions ever created. It's under the cool jazz subgenre. For the third song on the list, I have the New York-based jazz fusion group Tarika Blue. The only reason I discovered this group is because of a sample that Erykah Badu used in her Kiss Me on the Next song. I just ended up checking out their stuff and it turned out to be dope. The featured artist in this snippet is a guitarist by the name of Ryo Kawasaki. The song is under the jazz rock subgenre, and I want to say that it's a tribute to Jimi Hendrix based off the title of the song. I could be wrong though. The second song on the list is by the legendary band Kool and the Gang. I know some of y'all are asking, wait a minute, Get Down On It, Kool and the Gang? Ain't they a funk band? True, they are a funk band, but before that they were originally a soul jazz band. For my hip hop heads out there, this song will sound very familiar. It's a song under the soul jazz subgenre.
When autumn leaves fall to the ground and their colors change red and brown, the smell of chestnuts roasting in the air, that lets us know she's almost here. Winter sadness, winter sadness.
The first, and unfortunately the last song on this list. I know y'all was vibing out with me. The song is by Johnny Smith, also known as Johnny Hammond Smith. He was such a beast at the Hammond organ, they gave him the nickname Hammond. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I ever heard this song, I probably had it on repeat for a good hour. I contend this song to be one of the greatest songs ever created. It's under the jazz, funk, / soul jazz subgenres in jazz.
People everywhere.